Evening. Thank you all for being here. Meeting will be ordered at 6:02 p.m. and Secretary Reese will begin with roll call.
Okay, just as I go, if you are online and you hear your name called, you don't have to speak, you have an attendance report, so we'll understand that you're present, just if you're coming in right now. So, starting off roll call, Director Abulasan. Representative Brooks.
Here.
Representative Calhoun. Representative Carver. Treasurer Stroud. Here. Director Cowell. Here. Representative Crockett. Director Davis. Here. Representative Leishman. Here. Representative Formonte. Representative Griffin.
Here.
Director Harrison.
Here.
Representative Law Fortune. Here. Representative Malone.
Here.
Representative Massengill. Here. Director Morgan.
Here.
Director Morton. Here. A.G. Norris.
Present.
Representative Parsons.
Here.
Representative Pratt. Representative Rose. Here. Representative Sachanya. Representative Schaefer. Vice President Slade. Present. Director Snyder.
Here.
Director Steers.
Here.
President Ward.
Here.
Representative West.
Here.
Representative White. Here. Speaker Williams.
Here.
Representative Wilson. And Director Wright.
Here.
All right, we have this one, so it's being officially in order, and we will continue. We will start with the adoption of the minutes from last week, September 22nd. Those are uploaded to Teams if you'd like to take a look at them, or if there's any motion to approve. Great.
Motion to
Great,
approve.
Morgan. We have a motion to approve, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Director Howell. Are there any objections to approving minutes from September 22nd? All right. No objections? We move on, and minutes are approved. Special orders. As you can see, we have the process outlined for nominations for our elections commission, and I will let Attorney General Norris come up here at this time and introduce them.
Good evening, everyone. As you know, I'm Attorney General Norris, just for those of you who may have forgotten or haven't been here in person. Tonight, we're going to be introducing the nominations for the chair and vice chair of the Elections Commission. The Elections Commission runs our elections to ensure that they're fair and impartial, to prevent members of the Assembly from interfering with those elections, or those who might have some other bias from interfering, and making sure that then those are also run effectively, having two people who are paid that focus entirely on that, and then they have a commission comprised of between 8 and 20 people to help them with that mission of creating free and fair elections for us. Tonight, our chair nomination is Tori Anderson, and I will invite her up here really quickly. Our vice chair nomination is Rachel Mathers, and I will also invite her both up here if you would step up to the front. I'm not going to do a whole lot of introduction for them and let them introduce themselves, so that you all have a good idea of why they want to do this, what experience they have, and then we'll go through the questioning after that.
Hi, my name is Tori Anderson. I am a psychology major here, sophomore. I was a member of the Elections Commission last year under Monty and Savannah. Early on, I realized that I wanted to be the chair. We kind of found this ago, they were fun. And when thing came up, I decided to go for it. So I'm really excited to take the things that we learned last year and incorporate them here and do some legal things.
Hi everyone, my name is Rachel Mathers. I am a sophomore transfer student. I'm majoring in political science with a concentration in Creole and a minor in criminal law and legal process. And I would be honored to be a part of the Elections Commission as vice chair because I've been a student leader throughout high school, and in my first year at my previous institution, I was also a student leader for an Alliance Against Sexual Assault. So I know what it's like to be a student leader, and specifically regarding the Elections Commission, just from being a voter in political elections and in student elections. I've seen problems and I've seen things that I love that I would love to bring to ECU to make every election fair for both voters and people who are running. Thank you.
All right, thank you both. We will now enter into a period of questioning for our nominees. So if you, so we're clear, if you have a question, please raise your name placard. I will call on you in the order in which you have raised it. And when I call on you, please stand and direct your question. Make sure you say if it's for Tori or Rachel or if it's for both of them. So now again, Director Harrison.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank y'all for doing this. I wish y'all stepping up. My question for y'all is, what are some improvements from last year that let's see this year? I don't know.
So one of the improvements that I'd like to see from this year, particularly regarding the nomination process for our actual commission, I'd like to see a little bit more of like a rigorous questioning process to make the elections commission a little bit more cohesive. One thing that I did see last year was, a few people doing a lot of things and a lot of other people not doing a lot of things. I think that some of that was just like maybe a resume builder for them, and that's great, but that made it really hard on the chair and the vice chair and the other people who actually were doing something and showing up to the few in-person events that we did have. So I would like to streamline that process, but also make it a lot more rigorous to not only help us, but to make it fair for the rest of the commission members that don't feel like all of that is being put on them.
And since I'm a transfer student and this is my first semester at ECU, I do not have the experience that Tori does, knowing what issues there were in the election this year, which is why I applied for vice chair. But since I did attend a previous institution, I think I have a lot of ideas about how I can make information for each candidate easy to reach out to all students through social media, through Engage, just so that every voter feels like they have equal representation for all candidates, and that all candidates feel like they're equally represented in the election regardless of who wins.
Thank you. Are there any other questions for our nominees? Or is there a motion to end this period of questions? Wait on time.
Motion.
Okay. Motion to end this period of questioning. Is there a second? All right.
You can go ahead and
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
You can go ahead and ask it.
All right, perfect. Just a general question for both of the candidates. How do you guys expect to increase voter turnout during our future elections?
Yeah, so as I was reading the bylaws about elections today, I realized that we can't offer incentives, which I think is a great idea because I think ECU students should want to vote to see the improvement of their school just for the sake of it. So I think the biggest way to increase voter turnout is just information. We can have multiple tables set up throughout campus, plenty of time in advance so that students have the information about how or where to vote when election day is arrived, and use social media since it's a great tool that we can use to just post and repost and see if we can partner with other organizations on campus and have maybe group events.
I think that one of the biggest things, not only in this elections, but life in general is connections fatigue. A lot of things that you'll see, I especially saw last year was one of the biggest turnouts that came from the voting was Greek life. And that's awesome because there's so many of them, but it didn't necessarily represent the larger part of the student body. Just kind of like if you have one segment of the population voting for a president, it doesn't necessarily, account for everyone else. So if you get, the soccer team who also knows, someone on the dance team, who also knows someone in Greek life, who also knows someone, et cetera, you get the idea. Connecting everyone together and having all those candidates is really, really important. And I think the more people that you have, running, the more people you have standing up and talking about it, and groups intermingling, that's how you start the work.
I have a question.
Yeah, Director Morgan.
So, like, I agree with everything you just said, but like how specifically, I feel like the question really is, yes, more information broadcasting, but like through what way, like routes, like what accounts specifically, or what routes are you going to use to get information out? Because a lot of things have been tried,
Yeah, so I think, like she talked about, social media is a really good thing. Obviously last year we didn't really have the opportunity to be on campus, and I really want to do that. Since we're on campus, the campus is really lively, everyone's here. Get it out there. Not like be in their face, but be in their face about it. Like, hey, like this is the election, this is why you should vote. Like, really get out there before like the election starts, so that they get it talking. Because I think that being on campus here this year, we can use that to our advantage where we didn't have that outlet last year.
Yeah, just to go off that, I think since we are on campus, and that's a really big thing, it hasn't publicly been on campus for years. But like Tori said, we can put in things, especially where freshmen are, because I know, even though I'm a sophomore, getting plugged into things at UC was a huge thing for me. So while we can utilize social media, simple things like putting posters up in residence halls or in areas at the student center. Personally, I saw posters for certain clubs that I'm now a part of, and I thought that was awesome just to see physically and have all that information there.
Can I ask a follow-up question?
Yes, please.
Sorry, yeah, I forgot to stand. Where did you see those posters, like, plastered? Because I'm interested because residence halls are generally, you're not generally allowed to put things up. So I'm curious to know, where do you see posters?
I actually didn't know residence halls were not allowed as I lived off campus, but for other clubs, I saw them in the lawn around like where there were band posters, them posted there and just on the way in certain areas in the library, so that's where.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Director Spears.
I just like to answer this question. Actually, you can post any information you want to residence hall as long as you go to the building where your RA staff. Usually we have had things posted in their buildings before or put in their welcome packets. But as long as you go to the conference channels, you have anything you want to the building.
Are there any other questions for our nominees? Is there anyone virtually who has any questions? Representative Brooks.
I know that you mentioned earlier about how usually the people that vote for Greek life. How do you think that you guys are gonna, do you think it's important to select like a diverse commission that's also outside of Greek life in order to remain impartial?
Absolutely. I think that just as like when I went into my interview and they kind of asked questions about like, well, I more so volunteer things about my personality and what I would want in a vice chair and things like that. I think it's really important, not just on like the views of like, being in sports or being in Greek life, personalities in general. It's really good to have different people on the commission, because you may have someone who's, not so great at writing,
but someone else who's like really good at public speaking or really good at like getting out there. So I think that diversity is always important when you have a group of people.
Are there any other questions? Is there a motion to end this period of questioning?
Motion is very much.
There's a motion to end this period of questioning by Representative Brooks. Is there a second? Seconded by Director Morgan. Are there any objections to ending this period of questioning? All right. With no objections, the period of questioning is over. For duration, we don't leave. All right. Now that they're outside, we will begin our period of debating and discussing the nominees. Anybody have anything they'd like to add to debate or discussion? I'm in favor of them for any reason, not in favor of action. Director Harrison.
Yes, I think that, these are great nominees because you have one person, the chair, who has institutional memory, who, has been in the commission and understands that. And you also have somebody who has even been at ECU before, and I think that brings a little perspective, so that's why I support it.
Thank you, Director Harrison. Are there any other, Director Morgan?
Representative Adkins said that seemed like good candidates and for
All right. Just in case, just so everybody can hear, Representative Pancake said she believes that they're both good candidates in her opinion. Is there anything else anyone would like to add to this period of debate or discussion regarding our nominees? Representative West.
Can I ask a question, actually?
To the nominees?
Let's see. Point of information. Point of information.
Yes, sir.
Do we have to say a on or why we're not in favor against for another in favor against to continue, or do we not go on that?
There's no specific order we can talk about.
Thank you.
We'll also accept the motion to end this period of debate discussion if everyone has voiced their opinion. We will be voting on them after this ends. Director Morgan. Motion to
in this period of discussion, debate discussion.
motion in this period of debate discussion from Director Morgan. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Liaison Snyder. Are there any objections to ending this period of debate discussion regarding the nominations for the Elections Commission? No objections. We will move into voting. Director Spears.
Motion to approve in block.
There's a motion to approve block. There's a second by Director Harrison. Are there any objections?
How do you do that with online?
No, you don't, they just said we're confirming this.
Yeah.
Sorry.
There's
Yeah.
one item.
That's
So
my fault, sorry.
rather than voting on them one at a time, we're
Yeah.
voting on them as a whole. So people who are in person, we'll be doing a roll call vote, similar to what we did last week. Those virtually will be using the Spears method, where you like the comment that represents your vote. Good with that? With that, I'll let Secretary Maurice begin the roll call vote.
Director Hassan.
Yay.
And then my card name, like, when you're online, just don't say anything. We'll capture it after. Representative Brooks.
Yeah.
Representative Brown. Representative Cumberland. Representative Carver. Treasurer Cottrell. Director Cowell.
Yay.
Representative Crockett. Director Davis. Representative Dean. Representative Fleishman. Representative Flormonte. Representative Griffin. Representative Harris. Director Harrison.
Yes.
Representative Laporte. Representative Lamone.
Yeah.
Representative Massengale.
Yay.
Director Morgan.
Yeah.
Director Morton.
Yay.
David Morris.
Abstain.
Representative Parsons.
Yay.
Representative Pratt. Representative Rose. Representative Sachanya. Director Snyder.
Yay.
Director Spears.
Yay.
Representative West.
Yay.
Representative White.
Yay.
Representative Wilson. And then Director Wright.
Yeah.
And then we're going to tally up for online since it's some of this. We're all set.
With that, Jay's have it, and Ms. Corey and Ms. Rachel will both be sworn in here momentarily to the chair and vice chair of the Elections Commission. Can y'all please come up? Sorry.
Definitely raise your right hand and repeat after me. I. Do solemnly affirm that I will uphold the Constitution and bylaws of the Student Government Association of East Carolina University. During my term, I will embody the motto of our university as SGA, meaning serve. So that I may faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of my office to the best of my ability.
With that, we will move into officer reports. If all of y'all could come up here and online, we will
All right, hello, everybody. Congratulations first to our new chair and vice chair. Wanted to jump in first into parking. Bill Cook came and spoke to the Pirate Roundtable last week and discussed some of the issues that were ongoing. Again, just wanted to highlight some of the issues that he discussed with us, as well as some of the solutions we discussed as well. There have been some major issues with parking, in particular the parking deck. Our codes have been printing improperly. That has been one of the major issues inside the parking deck, and then those barcodes are not able to scan. So then the number has to be manually input by a faculty member. They are looking to increase faculty inside the parking and transportation department. There is going to be someone on call to actually get live real-time updates now. That whenever the parking deck hits 80%, they will have a person manned there at the parking deck to ensure that everything is running smoothly. And whenever the parking deck hits full capacity, then that sign is placed out. We're hoping to work with parking transportation as well to make this data available to students. So the students can receive that real-time information as well. So students know if the parking deck is full, they're not really planning to go. In the parking deck, they can look and see how full it is as well. Also, this week, I'm going to have a few meetings about the student concert that we are looking to bring to ECU in the spring. We're looking at doing that in Dowdy Fitland Stadium. I'm working currently with JJ McLean from Athletics, as well as John Gilbert. I'm also working with our Vice Chancellor of Finance, Stephanie Coleman. We're certainly still in the preliminary conversation stages. We just wanted to put that on your guys' radar. SGA and SAB will be prime sponsors for that. Earlier this past week, I was able to address the ECU Board of Alumni Association, which was really great. They asked lots of questions after my short report as well, which is always great to see and engage with students. They also asked how they can be more involved with students, and I offered up the opportunity for them to come speak at SGA Assembly sometimes, or Chairman Spain said we love taking up on that opportunity, looks forward to working with us. Obviously, Parents Weekend was this past weekend. I thought it was able to fix some of the major concession issues that we saw at the South Carolina game. Student attendance in particular was fantastic. We're 2-0 the last two games, so we'll have some great energy going into Saturday for homecoming as well. Also, this past Sunday, we had the student memorial service. All of their families were there as well. That's a service that ECU performs for all of ECU students that have passed away in the last academic year. And many of them were looking to purchase benches and trees and create scholarships for their students, which is always great to see. So I was very honored to be there with those families as well. Friday morning, we will have our first meeting for the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Steering Committee. That's a charge led by Chancellor Rogers, so excited to bring some more information after our first meeting on Friday. Additionally, the Provost Search Committee is narrowing down the search as well, and we're getting to the point where students will actually be involved in the interview process, which is fantastic. SGA has been charged to find some representatives, so our SGA Council and graduate students will be involved in that process. And lastly, this upcoming Tuesday, I'll be addressing the Faculty Senate with the full report, and look forward to working with them in the future. Does anyone have any questions? All right, thank you guys.
Hey guys, so happy homecoming week. We already had dinner and skit, so that was a success. Everything looked great. It was super fun, so they had my staff, that was really fun. But there's still some more stuff going on this week. So the parade is, for the game is at 9, and they said it should have been around 10:30. So you wouldn't be there for so long, but it's going on 5th Street. So go to the parade, watch that, and anywhere and watch it. And then the game is at 3:30. So come out and support. And then don't forget on Sunday is our Wall of Presidents. So they'll be right down the hall at 2:49. And that'll be at 9:30 in the morning. And there's a lot of alumni that were like past presidents and their families. So it's a really good time to build some connections. I think it would be very beneficial if everybody went, kind of like a meet and greet type thing after they put the ribbon to the wall presidents. So if you can go to that, I would highly recommend. And then for me, kind of my Current Nation Gives meeting a few days ago, and that's basically just what ECU does every year to raise money. So I'll have more information on that, but it's just an introductory meeting, and that will be happening in the spring. And then me and Director Wright met with Liz again, and we're going to do a follow-up meeting with Wood next week, but I'll let him speak more about that. But does anybody have any questions? Okay, thank you guys.
I don't have a report this week.
Good evening, everyone. As I said 20 minutes ago, my name is Ethan Norris. I'm your Attorney General. Hope you all are still doing well in the last 20 minutes since I spoke to you. Not much to report this evening. Big thing that the Rules and Judiciary Committee has been working on are those nominees for the Elections Commission. So again, congratulations to both Tori and Rachel on that. We know they're going to do a great job. Coming up, we're going to be working on the applicants for the assembly. That application is getting open, and then an email will hopefully be sent out in the next few days to a week, depending on the process of getting that written and refined, for lack of a better term. So just working on that, and then currently working to see about those office hour revisions and what that's going to look like, and what we need to do with them. But that is my full report.
Hey y'all, so preparations did not meet on Monday, we did not have any requests in the funding portal, so
Hey y'all, so SHIPH just met at 5 and they elected 3 out of their 4 half-exec positions. Last night they met to elect a freshman class representative. She was elected and she will be sworn in at next week's meeting. Besides that, I still need 5 mentors, so if you please have time to do it. In all, it's like 4 hours a month, so that's not a lot. So if you have time, please do it. The mentors and the mentees will meet for the first time next week, so I really need to get it done. And then the week after that, Dr. Eric Newell is coming to speak to them about product.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Unfortunately, this week, the big theme was just waiting on replies from the University of Harris County. We have not heard back from Toys for Tots yet, but I'm going to be persistent to keep emailing them. As Vice President Slade spoke earlier, we are meeting with the school administration, specifically Vice Chancellor of Campus Living, the Director of Transportation, and Vice Chancellor of Student Affairs, to speak on behalf of the student body in terms of the Village Partnership. And that's the October 15th, so we're just something to report about then.
Good evening, everyone. The Academic Affairs Committee has been progressing well. I had a meeting this morning with Ashley Cleveland, the Women and Gender Office, and we should be continuing that dialogue moving forwards. We also have another meeting coming up this Friday with Jeremy Tuckmeyer to talk about the surveys and the steps that we need to go through to develop them. Besides that, I've been proud of the work my committee's been doing, and I look forward to welcoming our shipmates on Monday.
Good evening, everybody. I thought I was going to come up here and say I have nothing to say, but my committee insists on making me look good. So we have a meeting planned next week with Toya Jacobs from the Diversity Office to discuss diversity training that we're trying to bring not just to the SGA, but to the student body at ECU. We're also working with Liaison Lucas Snyder, who is going to be there with us, because we'd like to see this implemented throughout the UNC system, not just East Carolina. Also, we have the Equity and Intercultural Affairs Committee has secured the, it just came to me a minute, Sankofa Art Gallery in the Living Rights Center for a multicultural art show next spring. We'll have the art center for the entire spring. And Bishara Matthews has already started reaching out to the art students so that we can get a lot of representatives from different cultures involved there. Yesterday, I spoke to a representative from a Mexican while they were outside registering voters for the vote in November. And I encouraged them to get somebody from their committee, their club, to apply for the open positions in the SGA because they're an underrepresented class. We're also reaching out to the Asian student union to try and get some more Asian members into the SGA. Because there's a huge section of the student body that's not represented in the SGA, and we want to change that. They feel like their voices aren't heard, but I told them that we can't hear them speak if they're not in a place where they can be heard. So I'm encouraging them to fill those positions. And finally, we would like to put together a resolution to acknowledge the janitors and the other support staff who have done an amazing job in taking care of the university and the health of the students here. Because honestly, most people don't even recognize that they exist. And we'd like to see something done to recognize them. And that's all I have.
Hey guys, so community outreach, we will be working with ECU Sustainability on October 23rd. That is also ECU's Make a Difference Day. This event is from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. You can join on Engage and reserve your spot. It counts towards volunteer hours through the school, shorter SGA. We would like to go to lunch after, it'll be a lot of fun. Just have some members of the assembly join us. Get that representation out there. Hopefully we might encourage people to apply for SGA. A lot of details are being figured out on the community softball game. Our committee is running for spring, so we're really excited about that. And lastly, once homecoming wraps up, my committee will be working on fundraisers to raise money for Haiti following the natural disasters. Some of the fundraisers include how the president predicted about doing that, but we still got to figure that out. That's all I've got. Any questions?
Well, it's always a busy time in the Marketing Communications Committee. One thing that I like to tell people online is that we are live streaming this assembly, so that you'll be able to better hear, to better see what's going on. I would encourage you to go on to the YouTube and watch our live stream. Also, I'll be making a homecoming post on Friday to encourage people to go to the game. One way I'm doing that is by getting a collage of everybody who's kind of gone the past couple of games, home games. So if you have any pictures of you there at the games, if you have a good one, you can send them over to me. DM me and I'll make a little collage. You know, like I did for Mother's Day. I do a little collage thing like that for homecoming. We are tabling again this Tuesday because every other Tuesday, the Marketing Communications Committee tables, so we can reach out to our constituents and hear from them and give them some. And that'll be from 1 to 3 p.m. on this upcoming Tuesday in this building at one of the tables down there in the long hallways. One thing I really like to reemphasize, as Vice President already mentioned, was the Wall of Presidents reception. It's going to be very exciting. The roster every day is expanding. I think we'll have about close to 14 past presidents and a few vice presidents and tons of SGA alumni from past years. So it is a great networking opportunity. It's also a great way to see people who have been there, done that, learn from them, and also make connections. So it'll be fun for that. We'll with Rob Bolerline from the tours office to start the QR code, kind of art museum type tour project, like a virtual tour type thing. And then I'm also looking forward to working with the new chair of the Elections Commission to advertise on social media. So I'll definitely talk to you at some point so we can work on your issues within regard to that.
All right, hey, well, this week, my committee has been working on like our structure, what each member is doing. So we've got Representative Griffin, and like he's, number one is the secretary, number two, he's going to be remaining in contact with Greenville PD. Representative Corvalenti will be in contact with Greenville EMS and Fire Department. And then we've got Representative Thomas on local employment ops, which is going to be one of our main things, I would say, which is just letting people know not so run of the mill or not so common local employment opportunities in the area. So we've actually got two already this week. Greenville Audit Auction, this is off of Davidson Avenue. Is if you have an interest in business or sales, or putting it into this career areas, they have positions for cleaning cars, monthly auctions, I think on Thursdays. Running social media, I'm sure some other things, you can just call or walk in and feel free to interview, and they're probably happy to have you. And then we also have Rover Gaming Incorporated. This is a software development and design company. Obviously, if you're interested in those type of things, this is for you. They need website developers and graphic designers. So that's it for local employment out this week. Update on the crosswalk video, Captain Sutton and direct comparison. We're scheduled for tomorrow at 9 a.m. So it should be done hopefully within the next week or two. Just please remember to utilize crosswalks around campus. Safety first. Last thing is Reboot Fridays. So I went to one this past weekend. It was really cool. There was a lot of people there, honestly, a lot of locals, which I loved it. And then on October 1st, this Friday, there's the Homecoming Reboot Friday. All the captains of the ship candidates will be there, as far as I know. So the Five Points Plaza parking lot, which is right across from Winslow's, if you know what that is. Those are 5:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And there's also a volunteering option. That's set up again at 3 p.m. And Director Harrison should be posting the links for volunteering tomorrow. And then also the next Reboot Friday that I'm aware of is November 5th. That's Military Appreciation Day. Same time, 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. Setup begins at 3 p.m. So if you're interested in volunteering for either of those, please do. They definitely need people and would love support for ECU students. That's all I have today, and thank you.
Good evening, everyone. This past Friday, I attended the coffee hour, which is the International Students Weekly meeting. I just want to give a shout out to Ethan over here and Director Davis. They joined me this last week to meet with international students. Unfortunately, we had a very good turnout for international students only. However, the very next day, we had the international students game meet right before the game. This is the second game meet in 2 years. Whenever we go, we win. So I think we're in good luck. But besides that, today I spoke to the COVID 1000 class for international students as well as first year students. One thing that I really noticed was the first of all lack of student assembly in their own schools, or their inability to actually participate in student assembly because of COVID-19 and how school was moved online instead of in person. Which is why they were really reluctant about actually joining the shipmates program this year, or actually seeing opportunities to join SGA in future years. So I just told them that the shipmates program is a really seed of two class towards SGA. We can really develop leadership skills. I gave a shout out to Adriana in class, and hopefully they'll be speaking to her. Program that I was also thinking about this past week, which is a seed program, is a Friends Without Borders program. It basically connects international students who are already here in East Carolina University with the students who are planning to study abroad within the next semester or next year. Because getting to know a place from someone who actually lived there, from someone who grew up there, is very different than actually reading about the place, or actually going through a website and reading what they have to offer. So if you are interested in joining the program, if you are interested in study abroad opportunities, if you know someone who wants to study abroad, just shoot me a text or an email, and I'll be more than happy to connect you with an international student with questions, concerns, suggestions. Thank you so much.
Hey everyone. So I don't really have like a report because our the ASU meeting is actually this upcoming weekend, this Friday and Saturday. But just to reiterate what Director Davis mentioned, gonna attend the meeting with her and Ethan to bring diversity and training to all UNC schools, which is important for ASU because the current president and vice president are putting a very large emphasis on diversity and mental health among underrepresented communities. So be a part of that, and I'll probably have more to report next week. But as far as ASG goes, I have 2 liaisons, as well as President Ward. But for me personally, I'm a part of the graduate and professional student committee as well as the government relations committee. So I want to kind of give you a little bit of like a breakdown or like a rundown of what we do. So as far as the grad student affairs, there's a couple initiatives that they're pursuing, and I'll just list them off. So the first is mental health. And the second is visibility, which kind of ties back into mental health because oftentimes graduate students are seen as, oh, they're older, they don't really need as much help as the freshmen, sophomores, people undergraduate. So they're putting extra emphasis on that, as well as networking. So graduate students will be set in finding a job when they do graduate from graduate school. Secondly, I'm a part of the government relations committee, and there's nothing really to report on that or what we're doing, but I just want to kind of tell you what we will be doing. So we kind of advocate concerns of the students, not just to administrators here at ECU, but also to local leaders in Greenville, as well as statewide leaders in the North Carolina General Assembly, the Board of Governors, as well as Governor Cooper. There is one other thing about the Government Relations Committee. We are pushing for voter mobilization because if any of you know anything about trends in voting, not many people vote, especially in local and primary elections. So that's something we're really going to be pushing in the next couple months. And with that, I'm going to done. That's it. Thank you.
All right. I myself do not have a report this week. Just in case any of you are wondering, I'll move my name to the end of the list, simply to make this smoother, so I don't have to move from the podium, out the line, back in line, out. So just trying to help transition along. Public comment. Are there any members of the public who have a comment they'd like to share? All right. No comments? No old business, no new business. SGA speaks. If anybody has any ideas for initiatives that would like to talk about, please at this time raise your flag or we'll call on you and you can bring that up. If anyone has anything, we will move right along then. Announcements. Remember to check in and out of your office hours on the iPad. Doing that is very important. And also, Director Council, the mentors, 5 of them. Sign up for that PowerPoint, or if you're unsure, feel free to get yours. We'd love to talk to you about it. Those are all the, we are confirming the president, vice president next week. They will be sworn. That's all the announcements. With that, adjournment. Is there a motion to Director Abul-Busan? There's second. Second by Director, or sorry, second by Director. Are there any objections to ending this meeting? All right. This meeting is
Everybody, real quick, please leave your name placard on the table at the back of the room. I see most of you have done that. Great job.